Hey! Hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Let's not waste your time and get straight into this. I want to read the headlines of a few gaming news articles for you, around a specific story. NBA 2K20 is already 2019's best-selling game in the US. Basketball title enjoys best launch month sales of any sports game on record. NBA 2K20 is America's best-selling game in 2019 to date. 2K20 secures the highest launch month sales of any sports game in the US, ever. NBA 2K20 is already the best-selling game of 2019 in the US. NBA 2K20 came out on September 6 for PlayStation, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, but the sports game is already the US's best-selling title of 2019. This is according to the industry tracking firm, the NPD Group's report on US gaming sales for September 2019. Yes, NBA 2K20 was the top seller for the month, but it's more amazing that it immediately became the #1 best-selling game of the year. Mortal Kombat 11 is at the #2 spot, followed by Borderlands Free at #3, which also released in September. NBA 2K20 needed only 1 month to become the best-selling game of 2019. NBA 2K20 is the biggest game of the year in the US so far. NBA 2K20 has done absolutely massive business in the US, breaking records and helping the series pass a major sales milestone. NBA 2K20 is now the top-selling title in the US for 2019, according to reporting by VGC. The title, which has been controversial for its microtransactions and gambling-like elements, has overtaken previous champion Mortal Kombat 11. It released on September 6. In fact, NBA 2K20 now has the biggest first month sales of any sports game released in the US. The previous sales record holder, NBA 2K19. It's big over there, and the articles and news about this specific topic go on and on and on. So let me get this straight. Despite the massive backlash online, despite multiple large, big-name content creators calling out the anti-consumer business practices and blatant gambling present in NBA 2K20, despite their videos getting hundreds of thousands of views, despite the game getting negative review bombed on all platforms, despite all the signs pointing to that this is a terribly made game, this is an anti-consumer product, despite all of that, it's the best-selling game of 2019. But wait, we're not done yet. Surely you've heard of the video game Borderlands Free, and how the publisher of that game, 2K, basically harassed the YouTuber Supmato and then afterwards shut down his channel? Ah yes, and what about the greedy and consumer inconvenient business decision of Epic Game Store exclusivity on PC? And let's not forget all of the shady shit that Gearbox developer CEO Randy Pitchford has found himself in. Now you'd think with all this controversy and moral outrage online and calls for boycott, that Borderlands Free wouldn't do all too well. Borderlands Free has broken multiple 2K games sales records as it continues to outperform any of the publisher's previous titles in just 5 days. Oh, would you look at that? It sold over 5 million copies. Okay, I'll get to the point and address the title of this video in just a moment, but just one more game. Indulge me for just one more game example. You all know about Call of Duty. You all know about publisher Activision Blizzard. You all know that they're greedy and unethical, and they've proven this time and time again. So despite all the evidence in the world, especially over the past couple years, that this company is blatantly anti-consumer, guess what? Call of Duty Modern Warfare topped 6 million in sales in its first 3 days of release, Activision said Wednesday morning, which makes this the highest selling game in the Call of Duty franchise on this console generation. Call of Duty Modern Warfare outselling Black Ops 4 by healthy margin.
Well, that was a load of shit.
So, with my evidence presented, I'm just now going to come out and say it. Gamers have failed video games. This is undeniable proof of what I've been saying for years. That all of the moral outrage and virtue signaling and circle jerking, whether it be in the YouTube comments, Reddit, Twitter, whatever, is worthless. The gaming community is all bark and no fucking bite. You all complain and complain, but then you all proceed to vote with your wallets. And the vote has been cast. The overwhelming majority of gamers do not give a shit about any egregious actions these companies make. It really does not matter how anti-consumer they are. The new big blockbuster AAA games that come out year after year continue to break records and sell in the millions. It's time to accept the facts, people. There isn't going to be a video games industry crash. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Year after year, we see and hear and read the same rhetoric from gamers online. Oh, eventually the consumers are going to get sick of all this greedy bullshit and they'll stop buying games and the industry will crash. Clearly, that's not the case. The AAA video games from the AAA publishers you all hate are continuing to sell more, not less. They continue to break records year after year. Obviously, the average consumer does not care about the unethical nature of these companies or their greedy business decisions. We have to accept the fact that microtransactions aren't going anywhere. It's unfortunate, I hate to say it, but microtransactions are a part of gaming now. As much as I wish that wasn't the case, we have to accept reality. It's time to grow up, be adults, and realize that there are some things that are out of our control. Now, don't any of you dare confuse this for corporate shilling of any kind. In no way am I implying that we should stop criticizing these companies. Absolutely not. Constructive criticism is healthy. Genuine, objective mistakes and issues should be pointed out and detailed. But the moral outrage, the malice, the fucking circle jerking and gamers rise up rhetoric. We have definitive proof that this is worthless and it accomplishes nothing. It's a waste of time and energy and needless self-imposed suffering. So yeah, if we apply this gamers rise up mentality to the actual facts and reality of the situation at hand, then gamers have failed video games. And no amount of no true Scotsman fallacies are gonna work around that. Ugh, but everyone who bought those games aren't real gamers like me. Look at me, I love CD Projekt Red and played The Witcher free. Give me likes. Oh, grow up, please. Your YouTube comments, Reddit posts, and tweets do not affect the video game industry. Where you invest your money does, and the vast majority of gamers have invested their money in these AAA games produced by these AAA publishers. We can't change that. We have no control over that. What we do have control of is what we ourselves choose to play and support. Consider this. Instead of virtue signaling for the 100th time about how much you hate Electronic Arts or Activision, maybe recommend a pro-consumer video game or ask for recommendations of pro-consumer video games you've never played of or heard of before. And you know what else? Let's stop solely focusing on the AAA. In my opinion, it's honestly kinda gross how the gaming community and so many gaming YouTubers obsess over the AAA games industry. The only reason these AAA publishers have so much power is because we give it to them. Why don't we direct our money and attention to games and companies more deserving? From my perspective, the gaming community online focuses far too much on the negative. And I'm not implying that negativity in general or as a whole is a bad thing. Context matters. From my point of view though, there's a lack of moderation and balance. Video games are a beautiful, wonderful thing, and I feel like we should embrace that more often. By all means, continue to criticize, but maybe, just maybe, let's tone it down with the hyperbole and moral outrage, eh? Because as we can plainly see, it doesn't amount to much. Now, with the kind of video that this is, I believe it's only fair to take some time to recommend to all of you some AAA, middle market, and indie games that have come out this year that are quality, pro-consumer products, with seemingly ethical backgrounds behind them. These are genuinely good video games, worth your money and time, and I'm sure some of you will enjoy. So here's a list of 22 different video games, a mix of AAA, middle market, and indie. Children of Morta, A Medieval, Remnant from the Ashes, The Dark Pictures Anthology, Man of Medan, Devil May Cry 5, Control, Metro Exodus, Code Vein, God Eater Free, Mordhau, A Plague Tale Innocence, Unruly Heroes, Disco Elysium, Outward, Daymare 1998, Greedfall, Indivisible, They Are Billions, My Friend Pedro, Void Bastards, Absoloth, End of Gods, and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. And there you go, there you bloody well go. I just listed off 22 different video games that came out in 2019 that, for the most part, have ethical business practices and are pro-consumer and are quality products and are passion projects. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet jury, I present my case. Here is my evidence. My opposition, the hyperbolic gaming community, reiterates time and time again that the video game industry is dead, it's dying, that this year is the worst year in gaming ever, that every year, apparently, is the worst year in gaming ever, that we don't get good games anymore, that every new game that comes out is filled with microtransactions and anti-consumer business practices. That's all doom and gloom, there's nothing good or fun to play. That these AAA video game publishers have ruined the industry, that somehow because of EA, Activision, Ubisoft, 2K, and all these other AAA video game publishers, we somehow can't enjoy video games anymore. Well, what does the gaming community online, what do the YouTube comments, what does Twitter, what does Reddit have to say when confronted with my list of 22 video games that came out in 2019 that completely discredit their claims? What straw man will they have to invent? What mental gymnastics will they have to pull to preserve their false narrative and hide from the truth? The video game industry is not dead or dying. 2019 is not the worst year in gaming ever. Last year wasn't the worst year, and the year before that. Modern video games have not gotten worse, they don't suck, and for the love of God, AAA video game publishers do not have a monopoly on this industry. Activision, EA, 2K, Bethesda, Ubisoft are not the only ones on planet Earth making video games. While gamers may have failed gaming, video games themselves and passionate video game developers certainly have not. I beseech you, take the time to rediscover the reason you play video games in the first place. To have fun. However, if you're still determined to play video games while upholding your morals and principles, well, I just gave you a list of 22 video games that are pro-consumer. And it's only 22. There's so many more amazing quality video games that came out this year in 2019. They're not hard to find. So I say, get gaming, gamer, and reignite your passion for video games. And maybe let's stop being so obsessed and hysterical about aspects of the gaming industry that are completely out of our control, eh? Let the cards fall where they may. It's not our problem. There's no need for self-imposed suffering, especially when we're here to play video games to alleviate some suffering, eh? Well, that's my piece, that's all I want to say, and that has been a video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved in the video. If you hit the like button, please leave a comment in the comments section down below. Love and comments in the comments, please leave a comment. If you want to help out and support this video, please share it on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. And if you want to help out and support me directly, well, there's always Patreon. Anyways, guys, that's been a video, and I'll see you all later.